Chances are you're someone who's looking to buy a house in the next couple months or in the near future, and you're trying to find out what are the things that you need to prepare to buy a house. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 most important things that you absolutely need to buy a house. Starting with number 1, employment. Of course, you need a job to qualify to buy a house. And of course, not just to qualify to buy a house, but also have enough income coming in every single month to make the monthly payment. What almost every single bank and lender will look at is that you have steady and stable income. That part right there is crucial. That basically gives them the confidence that you'll make the monthly payments, which should also give you the confidence as well. A few things to keep in mind about your employment and income. Most lenders want to see at least 2 years of work history. And also remember that the more income you have, the more that you can qualify for. And if you feel that you might not qualify for much on your own, there's also the option to add your partner or maybe someone else to help you qualify for more. The second thing you need is a credit score. This part usually scares a lot of people, but don't worry, your credit score doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be at least decent to qualify. Some banks and lenders can actually qualify you if you have a low credit score such as 580. That will most likely be the lowest that they can go, but just keep in mind that your interest rate will be higher. A general rule of thumb and a good place to be at is at least a 680 credit score or higher. If you're above 720, you have way more options and benefits, such as getting a better interest rate. So remember this about your credit score. The higher the credit score, the better interest rate. The lower the interest rate, the lower the monthly payment will be. Number 3, debt. Most people don't like to talk about this, but the reality is a lender will look at your debt. So a couple things here. Try to work on paying down your debt if you have any, whether it's private loans, student loans, car loans, credit card debt. The more debt that you have under your name, this will definitely impact how much you can qualify for. Just to put this in perspective, right? If you have a $700 monthly debt, let's just say it's a car payment, that basically just lowered how much you can qualify for by $100,000. So for example, let's say you qualify for a $500,000 house, but because you have that debt in place, now you only qualify for $400,000. So it is a pretty big impact. So if you're in the process of preparing to buy a house, work on paying off some of that debt. It's going to help you tremendously. The 4th thing you need, savings, or in other words, money for your down payment and closing costs. The reality is there's a cost to buying a house, and you will need some money to buy it. But the beauty about buying a house, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, there are many loan programs that allow you to put the minimum down payment, and in some cases, even 0% down payment. For example, if you're a military veteran, you can put 0% down. In other cases, there might be a grant or program that can cover your down payment, and all you have to cover is your closing costs. So in the case of your savings, you want to try to save as much as possible. Ideally, try to save for the minimum down payment plus the closing costs. In most cases, this is anywhere from 3 to 5% down payment. And for closing costs, it's anywhere from 2 to 3% of the purchase price. So let's say you're buying a $500,000 house and you put 3.5% down, right? That's going to be $17,500 for your down payment. And that's if you're using an FHA loan. Now for your closing costs, we said it's 2%. So that's going to be $10,000 approximately. So if we add that to the down payment, that's going to give you a total of $27,500. That is how much you're going to need to buy a $500,000 house. But remember to ask your lender if there are any down payment assistance programs that can help you cover this. The last and final thing, number 5, creating a budget. This is something that almost everyone forgets when buying a house. You have the income, you worked on your credit score, and you have the savings, but almost everyone forgets to create a budget. The thing about buying a house is that the lender is going to give you the monthly payment, the mortgage payment, and the payment is going to include the interest, the principal, the taxes, and the insurance. But what's not included are things like the utility bills. Maybe you're paying for Wi-Fi, Netflix, Amazon Prime, your phone bill, groceries, and so many other expenses that we need on a daily basis. So many first-time homebuyers often forget to account for this. So that's why it's one of the most important things to do and prepare ahead of time. Create a list of all your expenses and things that you can budget for. And I promise you, this is going to help you out tremendously when going into homeownership. And it's definitely going to give you the confidence that you need to comfortably buy a house. One last thing about your savings. Yes, have savings for your down payment and closing costs, but you also don't want to drain out your savings. Make sure you have a separate savings account for a rainy day. You can even call this your emergency fund, because trust me, things will come up eventually, whether it's maintenance on the home or major repairs that come about, like plumbing, maybe new windows, maybe a roof. These are all things that might come up unexpectedly. But to give yourself the peace of mind, make sure to have that separate savings account. If you work on these 5 things ahead of time, it's going to create a very easy and simple process of buying a house. My name is Roberto and I'm a realtor in California. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And also, if you want to check out the full step-by-step process on how to buy a house, make sure to check out this video. And as always, we have one life, so make it count. Peace.